Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin, and this is my coffee, my famous Native American cup, I believe. And I am Kevin, and I hope you have a nice steaming hot cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or whatever you drink in the morning, be it water, juice, who knows, maybe a bourbon. Anyway, welcome to Coffee with Kevin. Mm-mm-mm. This is a fine morning. This is a fine morning. And today I want to talk to you about something my mentor has always said. My mentor, who taught me and trained me in neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, he's always had this one thing. He said, when it comes to goal setting, and by the way, we do goal setting in an extremely cool way. When it comes to goal setting, he said, celebrate at 80%. And when I first heard that, I said, wow, that's kind of weird. It's kind of wild to say that, right? And then I come to realize that it works. I come to realize that it works. Now, as some of you may know, and I've mentioned this a few times, I'm in the process of leaving. I'm going to leave this beautiful library. No, this is not where I'm at. But I'm going to be leaving Massachusetts, and we've been working at this for a few weeks, several weeks, in between getting the house ready to sell, selling it, and now getting ready to move. I've had to have a lot of different areas where, okay, I didn't get everything done, but I got a lot done. And I almost felt like I was back in my project management days, where I had to have this or that or this or that. And there's been a lot of milestones along the way. And I had to make sure I marked them and celebrated. Now, they weren't 80% of the way of the total, but they were 80% of the way of the area that I was doing. And sometimes they were 100% of the way. It was like there was a milestone of getting my couch. I had this big overstuffed leather couch out of the room it was in. And why that was even a milestone is because after a couple of years, we decided to put a door on that, and we built out the the door frame. And guess what? It doesn't fit for it. I had to take it all apart and then jam it through, and we got it through, and it was a huge feeling. It was a great feeling. Now it's just a part. It's just a part of the whole thing. But I celebrated. I celebrated. I had these huge pieces of furniture, the whole sofa set. I mean, overstuffed, big. And I had, we were tossing between whether we wanted it or not. I didn't want the sofa because it's much too large to bring down there. Probably have problems getting in the house, whatever it is. So we've been tossing it around. But finally, when we got rid of it, it was like celebration. Had another piece of furniture that was big, and nobody would take it. Finally, somebody said they wanted to take it, but it took weeks to get it out of the house. Finally, a celebration. Gosh, we figured out how to get rid of the paperwork we've been saving for 40 years. Believe it or not. And when we figured that one out, finally a celebration. So the celebration's all along the way. It's not just that 80% celebration, but it makes you feel good because it really notates that you are doing something towards your goal. And sometimes it's big things towards your goal, towards your objective. So maybe 80% isn't accurate. Maybe if you got some rather big milestones along the way, celebrated them. And then when you're almost there to your goal, we're going to be 80% real soon, another week or so. And then it's another big celebration. And then when the goal happens, it's another celebration. So yeah, I do like that psychologically for ourselves, for how we approach things. It's perfect. Instead of having this one long road. And granted, yeah, having been a project manager, we always break up this one long goal into several things. But then you get to celebrate along the way. You get to celebrate along the way. Now that's behind me. Now I can move towards this. Now that's behind me. Now I can move towards that. And as long as you got the end result in there, and the end result, the good part of the end result, I always say that to all my clients and all my students. Visualize what it's going to be like when you're there. Focus on that most of the time instead of the problem. Because believe me, problems come up all the time. And there's been a lot of problems along the way here. So I focus on visualizing, and what I'm doing is, we're looking at the properties we're gonna look at when we get down there. We're looking at them. We're finding all sorts of new stuff. We're dreaming about how it's going to be like to live in this property, that property. And it's some beautiful stuff. I mean, I never thought about having a home that had an indoor pool. Have you? Yeah. Florida, I guess it's more common because the indoor pool is really outdoors, but it's covered. It's got a covering, glass and screen, I guess. And so, yeah, what's it going to be like to live in some of these places? So always keep that picture, always keep that thought in your mind as the end goal, and it'll keep you going. It'll keep you going. I've run into so many people who just focus on the obstacle, and there's nothing we do that doesn't have obstacles. There's nothing we attempt, we go for, that doesn't have obstacles of some size. No, for some people, those obstacles are very little, just blips. And so for some people, those obstacles are very large. But those large ones we get over. And we gotta really remember that we do get over them and celebrate when we get over them. And sometimes we don't because the obstacle is so big, it's all of our energy is wasted in anxiety and nervousness. We got to look for what's the other side. I always talk about going over, under, and around or through the obstacles. All right, if you're going to go through the obstacle, what's on the other side? What are you going to get through? What are you going to get through? I just recently did this. I learned board breaking a long time ago. 1-inch thick boards, 1 foot by 1 foot. I learned that a long time ago, and it's pretty cool to do that. And so I took them out, and I had a couple of younger kids, and I taught them how to board break. And part of the board breaking, if you're modeling someone's board breaking, or at least the method that I was taught, is you got your obstacles on top. You write them down, you draw them, and you got your goals on the bottom. And what you're doing is picturing when you go through the obstacles, you now have the goals. So what you have to do is picture going through your obstacles. What's on the other side of them? And once you get through them, of course, celebrate. So it's not such celebrate at 80% of your biggest goal. Celebrate all your obstacles you get over, because you do get over them. Celebrate all your obstacles. Celebrate all your milestones. You don't have to be big, full celebrations. Pat on the back. It's like, okay, good job. Maybe give yourself a star on the head. I don't know. But do whatever you do to celebrate. And you get there. This has been Coffee with Kevin. Made it nice and short and sweet today. If you want to learn more about goal setting, you want to learn more about how you can optimize getting to whatever objective that you take, reach out to me. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or find me on www.cnlpcoaching.com. All right, until then, have a phenomenal day. Matter of fact, make it a phenomenal day, because it's in your power. It is your choice. Good morning, Antonio. It's a great day Today's are tomorrow's celebrations. Awesome. Awesome. You can actually speed that up and say today's can be today's celebration. Yes. But I do like where you're coming from. That is awesome. All right, all. Take care. Make it a phenomenal day, a phenomenal week.